Hi guys, I'm Angelina and I love to cook. I felt the need to make this video. I got a couple messages from my cousins and friends asking how to make an Arrabiata sauce, which is a spicy red sauce. Your basic ingredients are olive oil, tomatoes, garlic, salt, pepper, and of course hot peppers. Over here I have already peeled garlic. I'm going to slice them up, but first we're going to put some of our olive oil in a saucepan, and I normally put it on medium heat. Now most of you know how to cook, a lot of people don't. I love being into the kitchen, and who doesn't like being in the kitchen? Everybody does. All right, so we are going to chop up our garlic. I use a lot of garlic. I love garlic. I eat it by the clove. Normally you want to put maybe 5 or 6. I put way more than that just because I love garlic. It's pretty much your preference, what your body can handle. You may hear my kids in the background, you may hear Paw Patrol, you may hear the dog barking, but that's every kitchen, right? Alright, now that the garlic's chopped, I'm going to let this oil get hot. I like to use a wooden spoon when I make sauce. Doesn't stick. Metal, I don't really prefer metal unless I'm cooking something else. Now we'll let that get hot and then we'll add our garlic. Add your garlic in. I like the garlic to cook and roast a little bit before I add any of the tomatoes. Now the tomatoes I'm using today is Tutoroso. That's the brand that I use. You could use any brand you want, Giant brand, ShopRite brand, any of those other brands out there. I always tell everybody, it doesn't matter what brand you use. If you know how to cook, you know how to spice it up, saute it, the sauce will come out any way that you want it, regardless of the brand that you're using. I buy Giant brand also and use it, and you would never know the difference in the tomatoes. I got my sauce ready. Today I'm also using long hots. In the basic Arrabiata sauce, you're supposed to use red chili peppers. I don't really care for them. You could use any kind of peppers that you want. Red pepper flakes, chili peppers of course. But today I'm using long hots. They're my preference. I love long hots. Anything spicy I really love. So I'm going the extreme and using them. Now, I don't know if you could hear it, but the garlic is sizzling. And it's already starting to smell good. So again, this video is for people who are not normally in the kitchen. If you are in the kitchen on a normal basis, you already know what you're looking for when you're sauteing garlic. But I'm just going to put the camera a little closer so that you're able to see. Hi.
What are you doing?
Cooking.
What's your cooking? What's your cooking?
Tell me what you want.
Hey!
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Like I said, you will hear kids or see kids in my videos. I have 3, and the house can be very crazy at times. For instance, climbing inside of the refrigerator to get yogurt. All right. So now the garlic is slightly browning, and that's exactly where I want it to be. I don't want it burnt. Some people do. I don't. I like it a little brown. All right. And now we're going to add our tomatoes. These are plum tomatoes. I like these because I could squash them once the sauce is cooked. I would be very careful adding the tomatoes. It does splash up at you. Again, this video is for people who are not in the kitchen on a regular basis. I use 2 cans. I am cooking for a family of 5. 2 cans is plenty, and then of course I have some left over, which is good. Now that I added my tomatoes, I am going to turn the heat up. I'm also just squashing some of the tomatoes to let the extra juice out of them. Okay. But now I'm going to turn the heat up and let it get nice and hot. And then we'll start adding all of our ingredients, peppers. And again. This is actually where you want it to be. You want it to look like. You could start to see little bubbles coming up. I like to let the sauce come to a boil first before I add any salt, pepper, any of those ingredients. This is just a very basic sauce. There's nothing crazy in it. It's just salt, pepper, garlic, tomatoes, olive oil, fresh basil. Everything has to be fresh. None of this dried stuff that we use on other things. But when you're making your sauce, I would never put this in there, dried basil. Although it does taste good, fresh basil makes it taste so much better. Now everything is starting to come to a boil. It smells amazing already. Now I'm adding salt. I add just enough to give it the taste. Add it to your preference. You like salt, put it in there. If you don't like salt, put a dash. Pepper, black pepper. Same thing. If you like it, put a lot. If not, put a dash. Maybe a little more than a dash. Black pepper gives taste and it'll just taste better. You could actually hear it sizzling. This is where you want it to be. This is where everything comes together when it starts this. Now you can still see that I have the burner up to high right now. This is only for a little bit while we're getting the sauce cooking. All right. Now this is where you would add either your crushed red peppers, your red chili pepper, long hots for instance. I'm going to start and just put some of the long hot oil in it that we've already cooked. And then I will add 1 full long hot. Just to give it that extra taste. 1 full for me. And again, an arrabbiata sauce is supposed to be spicy. Add to your preference, your liking. If you like it super spicy, put more. If not, just put enough to give it that taste. I'm gonna give it one more spin while I just added everything. I already smell it. Okay. Now I'm gonna lower it back down to medium and put fresh basil in it. Right, I'm not gonna sit here and count the leaves, but this is how much basil I normally put in it. I like the taste of fresh basil in a sauce, in any sauce. Just put it over the top. I do not mix it in yet. I let it simmer a little bit on top before I actually mix it in. I also, you're not supposed to, they say. I do put some of the stem of the basil inside of the sauce because it just gives it that extra flavor. Now we're just going to let it cook a little bit. I'm only squashing the tomatoes at this point. And now I'll mix it in. I like whole plum tomatoes, so I will not crush all of them. You could use crushed tomatoes, whole plum tomatoes, puree, any type of tomato sauce that you like, you use, and you can make it the same exact way. I like my tomatoes to be a little full, and I will show you. This is exactly how I like it. Now you'll let it cook on medium, well, medium to low, a little bit more on the lower side because you don't want the sauce to burn, but I would let it cook for about 25 to 30 minutes. The longer you let it cook, the better it'll taste, but 25 to 30 minutes is typical. And then you put it over your pasta. And that's it for today with the arrabbiata sauce. I will be posting more videos. Please like and share and let me know what else you would like to cook. Thank you.